Hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work.
Fall in.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing? Y'all know what it is. It's me, your boy Trey, and this is E2G Sports Network presents First Formation Morning Sports Talk. You heard the end of the intro, fall in. So let's get to it. Of course, you're on now with your favorite vets on the nets when it comes to talking a little bit of sports, sometimes entertainment as well. Wherever the wind takes us at that particular time, we tend to get it in some way, form, or fashion. So, greatly appreciate y'all being in this morning. What's good with you, Stanton? What's going on, Fred? How you doing? Glad to have you in formation this morning, brother. Good morning to you as well. Um, Plenty of stuff went on over the course of the weekend. Not as busy as we seen last week. Last week it was pretty hellacious with various things going on. Of course, we would be remiss if we didn't say and give a huge shout out to them Houston Houstonians. Let's just say that, to the city of Houston. What's good, Tez? What's going on, brother? Glad to have your information. Good morning to you too, fam. Uh, we would be remiss if we didn't say a shout out to them Houstonians, giving them credit where credit is due. Houston, you know what? As I say this, our brother Ron pops on. As I was just giving props up to, as just as you was popping on, Ron. Well, first and foremost, before I say this, Ron, good morning, brother. How you doing? What's good with you this morning?
Morning, good morning.
So, of course, I know
Good and
Ron.
you.
I know Ron had, saying hopes of glitter and gold as he expected the Philadelphia Phillies to be victorious. It didn't happen. He sits down with the rest of us on that sideline. Houston wins their second World Series in 5 years, counted up 5 years, taking game 6 of their best of 7 series, was a 4-1 victorious game 6, completing the series with a 4-2 win. Houston rookie shortstop Jeremy Pena walks away with the MVP honors. Very unprecedented for a rookie who came in to replace a player that preceded him. That, of course, Houston had a great affinity for. Pena comes in and take care of business as a rookie, wins MVP of the year. Ron, did you watch that game 6, or was you looking just for heroics to be like, you know what, I'll tap in on game 7, did you sit through the agony of game 6 as well?
Yeah, I shot through the agony and watched the painful defeat. But
Mm,
it was a beautiful run. I didn't think the Phillies was winning more than one game, so
okay.
it was good for them to go in there and have their Rocky Balboa fight. It would have been
hmm
crazy if they made it to 7 games, but them boys played good.
And you know what's interesting, like you said, everyone, it was looked at it a certain type of way when you look at it honestly, because Houston was handling business, undefeated, swept two back-to-back sweeps, and then to come out and punch Houston in their mouth right off the rip with a, you know what I'm saying, with a quick 1-2, where we had to look at it as like, okay, you know what I'm saying, Houston had to wake up, and you know what I'm saying, to take them, like you said, 2 games, possibility of winning 3, was up the majority of the game by 1 point until that 3-run homer, and that kind of like blew it open, and then it just became what it was. Of course, Houston celebrating on their home field with the again, like you said, 4-1 victory for a 4-2 series lead. Good morning. What's going on, TT? Good morning. Glad to see you. in formation with us this morning.
Okay.
Yes, a marvelous Monday indeed.
Marvelous.
We're gonna get to it, especially with some of the stuff that went down in and around in the sports. Uh,
The
were you
Phillies
able to?
was up 2-1.
Uh huh.
Astros started 2-2, and I think that fifth game is when they do the first World Series no hitter on us.
Oh
At that
yeah,
moment,
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, we barbecue chicken." Whatever.
He's like these dudes pulling stuff out the woodwork. He's like this ain't well, this can't be life. Uh, but you know, what I'm saying certain things happen. Of course, look at DJ. What's good, DJ? What's good, Eric? Glad to have y'all with us this morning. What's going on, gentlemen? Glad to have your information. So yeah, it was definitely one of those situations where it was expected. Uh, like you said, no hitter. You know what? When people have God on their side, that's tends to be the situation.
Right.
And
Right.
like his parents told him, it's like you might, you might go out and throw a no hitter. And
Right.
lo and behold, the first combined no hitter, not just a shutout, a no hitter. See, it's levels to it because you got to think Philly just shut them out the game before 7-0,
Right.
and they come back with an 0-5 shutout, not an 0-5, but a no hit 0-5
Y'all ain't having
from
no fun tonight.
no fun. And you
We
know what
ain't
I'm saying?
gonna
Matter of fact,
think about fun.
yeah, matter of fact, it's like keep the party going. It's like, yeah, tag team is like, yeah, I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then the relievers come in, it's like, no, let's keep this party going. It ain't over. It ain't over. He said Bishop out of ranks. I don't know why he would be. It's like Oklahoma. We ain't had no expectations of Oklahoma, or well, maybe Oklahoma State. He did try to curtail with Oklahoma State, but we wasn't gonna say nothing about that. And then Philly won. Philly should, for the first time this year, be the power ranking number one.
They should still put the Bills #1 just because.
No, they
That
should.
all of Philly
You,
series.
no, they mess around, put the Kansas City Chiefs number one. It's just like
Oh, right.
oh my goodness. But you know what I'm saying? So it should be no rank, you know what I'm saying? But I'm very sure he's gonna tap in very soon. Uh
Did
and so that
Oklahoma lose again?
Oklahoma State lost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Oklahoma State lost, unfortunately. Uh but it was interesting, of course, when you look at the top 25. Man, for let me switch screens. The top 25 was crazy. What's good, Don? What's going on, bro? Philadelphia
Top
lost two.
25 served justice, not crazy.
Justice lost two
Justice
world
was served.
championships in the same day. What you talking about, Dom? He said, dang, Philadelphia lost two world championships in the same day. First time in history. Mm. Let me see. Let's find these so of course the games over the course of the weekend, college football. We know the CFP comes out, like those standings already came out, the rankings already came out for this AP coming up. Of course the CFP comes out tomorrow, and we should be able to see now how the committee ranks or sees these teams that were previously ranked ahead or switch situations. Speak on the GA.
The
This dude.
community's tighter right now than Philly was during that no hitter. Because we looking at
Uh,
them sideways.
of course, like you said, yesterday we already discussed on Friday. We know it came out. Oregon 23 lost in Washington, which in case in-state end up putting Washington into the top 25. But before we get to the current top 25, let's go over the scores and stuff from the teams that previously held those ranking or positions. Some still hold on to it. Of course, what was deemed or was expected to be the game of the year or of this week. Number one, Tennessee faced off against number three, Georgia. Uh, it ended up not being that game. It wasn't what the people wanted. Tennessee did go on to take their first L of the season, losing 13-27. Uh, Georgia came out, Stinnett came out 24-3. And was it 24-3, 24-3, or 24-6? I'm sorry, 24-6 in the first half. However, they did, as you see, the MLS World Champion Los Angeles beat Philly in the MLS Soccer World Championship in LA on the
Wow.
same day. Okay, all right, appreciate the Shout out Donovan. Let's go.
Definitely did not know that.
Yeah, because you know what, the LA ain't been there in a while. And when it comes to MLS, so we get the championship. Appreciate Donovan. Thank you for letting me know, giving that
Uh,
information. But like DJ saying, them dogs, Georgia punched them in the mouth. Like what I'm saying, I think of Eric at this point because all Eric talks about is in the trenches, and that's where the game was won in the trenches. Georgia taking care of business, dispatching Tennessee. So we could assume that Georgia's going to probably hold the number one spot in the CFP. It almost has virtually punched their ticket as long as they can hold on. It's not hurt. It's good, DJ. It's not as hurtful. We coming. I believe that we are coming. Now we have, what? I don't want to let too much out the back, but we coming. It ain't over. We got formalities to deal with now, so it ain't no. Yes, we lost to a ranked team earlier in the year, and now we have an opportunity at two ranked teams back to back. As long as they hold on to what they're doing, but yeah, Tennessee takes the L, falls 13-27 to Georgia. Number two, Ohio State takes care of business over Northwestern 21-7. Clemson, just as I expected, fall. Number four ranked Clemson falls to then unranked Notre Dame
you
35 to
expected.
14.
Hold up,
Yeah,
hold up.
yeah, yeah. I
What you
expected this to
mean?
happen.
How you
I
expecting
expected
top four upsets not telling your boys? So I can bet that.
I told you I looked at it when we saw. I was like Notre Dame. I was like Notre Dame is going to be the upset. Notre Dame's going to upset Clemson. That was one of the upsets in which I proposed was going to happen. It's just it's a rivalry, and we all know how rivalries go. Uh, so
Uh-huh.
so of course they take care of business.
Say it with your chest.
Surprised me how GA came through, but yeah, you see what it is saying. They had Tennessee quarterback on his heels. Barely USC would be there in the end. Thank you, Donovan. Appreciate it. Yes, you know how I do. Um, Additionally, of course,
I wasn't
Michigan.
shocked, Trey, because we had Coach on last week, and what he say? Them
He
boys is
did.
about to dog them.
Yeah, he did. He said he knew it was gonna go down. Yeah, DJ ain't it. The DJ ULA is not it, unfortunately, for Clemson, and this was just a matter of time. It all caught up with him. Number five, Michigan gets a W over Rutgers, 52-17.
No
It's
blue.
not like we didn't expect that. Number seven, TCU making noise. Number seven ranked TCU undefeated. They should move up into maybe they are. If I won't get to that, I'm gonna hold up for that stuff. But number seven, TCU did get their W 34-24 over Texas Tech. Number eight, Oregon wins 49-10 over Colorado. Number nine, USC handles business 41-35 over Cal. Number 12, UCLA takes care of business over Arizona State 50-36. Number 24 ranked Texas handles Kansas State 13 ranked with a score of 34-27. Um, Number 14 ranked Utah takes care of business against Arizona 45-25. Penn State 45-15 for 15 ranked Penn State. The Nittany Lions handle business. Number 16 ranked Illinois thought they was going to walk in and handle business. Michigan State Michigan State gets the upset 23-15 over the Fighting Illini. Number 17 ranked North Carolina takes care of business, winning 31-28 over Virginia. Kansas, unranked now, 37-16 over 18 ranked Oklahoma State. Tulsa walked into or had to, was hosting Tulane, number 19, and Tulane is like, we here, y'all gonna recognize. They get the W 27-13. Number 20 ranked Syracuse falls to Pitt 19-9. Wake Forest and NC State 21-22 respectively. NC State gets the W 30-21, and last but not least, 20. No, actually it's not last because I did miss a game on purpose. Number 25 ranked UCF takes care of Memphis 35-28. Yes, Tulane is up. Donovan is Louisiana is trying to do that. Louisiana, LSU, both of them. Maybe top 15 when the CFP comes out. We don't know. All right, DJ, I'll holler at you, bro. Uh, Clemson doesn't have. Yeah, we talked about that. So, of course, what ended up, in my opinion, Ron, please tell me if you think differently. Being the game of the night, Number 6 Alabama versus number 10 ranked LSU, in which I caught the back half of the game, basically the last quarter. Uh, I saw where they tied it up. I seen where Bryce Young danced in the pocket, was able to elude the rush, get out and find a wide open wide receiver down the field to take the lead. I seen where Daniels hit his high end in the back of the end zone, uh, and now it was another tied up situation. And I watched it go to overtime. As in my opinion, Alabama got a reprieve and got another opportunity in their home stadium when the ball was tipped. It wasn't clear, but you could tell it was tipped. And so the after the officials called a pass interference, which they went to the viewer, and the officials decided to say no, it wasn't tipped. Call stands. There wasn't enough inconclusive evidence, I guess, in which Alabama was able to go and tie it up. They went ahead and go on to overtime. Alabama wins the toss and takes the ball, goes in, punches it in, uh, or that happened in overtime maybe. And then of course LSU gets the ball. Daniels one play, 25 yards. Hellacious, great blocking down the field. He walks into the end zone, and you know what, Ron? They's like, we ain't gonna play with him. We ain't got no time for it. You know what I'm saying? It's do or die. Let's go. 2 point conversion. They drop the ball. They don't complete the conversion. They go home with a loss. They complete conversion. They knock off Alabama. Ron, what were you going to go? Were you going to play it safe, or were you going for the win early yourself too?
I'm going for the win. We don't have time to play games. Got to get home and take care of babies. He
Hmm.
he young, but he's ready. He put LSU on his back.
He did. He
100
did.
yards, touchdown, 200 passing yards, 2 TDs. Just out there balling.
It
I
was.
was shocked the
Go ahead. Go
game
ahead.
I was shocked the game even went to overtime. LSU was handling business, but like you went through it, Alabama was able to keep tiptoeing, and here we are in this crazy overtime game.
And he with the and then to count on the freshmen, the true freshmen. I was like, I had just simply said to myself, I was like, I wonder are they going to send someone in motion to see if they're a man or if they're a zone. And of course, when he went, but he didn't go all the way, broke back across came back to the right side, swing out pass, clear out. He caught it, got to the corner, got to the front end of the end zone, and that's all she wrote. And Brian Kelly, of course, after the game, said that he was like he felt like his guys had did too much and had deserved a moment. To he's like he didn't trust, he didn't want to continue to take them in to through another overtime period. We all know as opposed to when it comes to college, um, if they would have went to another overtime period, LSU would have came out with the ball for that second overtime, which I think was a strategy for Alabama. I know if it was me, I wouldn't have took the ball to begin with. I would have put them on defense, offense, and so our defense could take care of business, and then we can have an opportunity to close it out. But in any case, Alabama maybe felt like they were the superior team, uh, and it didn't work out exactly as they planned. Um, of course, that with that being said, the AP's current um,
Mm.
the AP currently has Florida State at number 25. At number 24, we have Washington getting back into the top 25 for second time this year. Kansas State at number 23. UCF at number 22. At 21, Illinois. Number 20, Notre Dame back into the top 25 again. As you know, Notre Dame started out early in the year. I think at number 5, number 6. He was in the top. Notre Dame was in the top 7. Um, they fall. They're back in for the second time. Liberty at number 19. At number 18, Texas. Number 17, North Carolina State. Tulane at number 16. At number 15, North Carolina. Penn State at number 14. Utah climbs to number 13. Clemson at number 12. Ole Miss, number 11. Alabama, number 10, falling from number 3 to number 10. UCLA, 9. At 8, USC. At 7, here we go with the disrespect again, Ron. Last week, we just had a situation to where we were jumped. this week, we have a situation to where LSU jumped us at number 7. At number 6, Oregon. Number 5, Tennessee. At 4, TCU. At number 3, Michigan. Go Blue. Number 2, Ohio State. And number 1, of course, Georgia with 62 first place votes. Ohio State did receive one first place vote on the year. I mean, on this in this week's. Uh, of course, interesting enough, Alabama has held its top 10 ranking and a streak of being in the least the top, no longer the top 10 team for 120 consecutive poll rankings. And of course, that's the second longest streak in the history of the AP poll, behind the 1985 through 93 University of Miami Hurricanes. So, interestingly enough, though, Ron, do you think that Alabama will be able to keep that designation, as they are due to face number 11 Ole Miss at Ole Miss this coming week? Additionally, we have number 24 Washington faces off against number 6 Oregon, number 4 TCU against number 18 Texas, and number 22 ranked UCF University of Central Florida versus number 16 Tulane. Of course, I'm team Washington this week, because with a win by those Oregon Ducks and USC going and taking care of business of Colorado this week, that will propel USC potentially to the number 1 team in the Pac-12, which will potentially set up a 1 versus 2 in the Pac-12, as next week USC goes to UCLA just up the highway. Which possibly could be a 1 versus 2 in the Pac-12, to determine who is going to be who can be one of the 2 representatives for the Pac-12 championship. At this point, it's looking like it's between Oregon, UCLA, and USC. Uh, and then, of course, TCU and Texas. A loss to TCU gives with a win of USC gives another opportunity for them to move up and continue to build on that. As, like I said, they are going to play against their last 3 games: Colorado, UCLA, Notre Dame, potentially the Pac-12 championship series. Uh, when do y'all play
Uh,
Ohio State?
y'all, you sound desperate, Trey.
I sound I'm reaching, and so you know what? As I sat here with saying, I was like, that is a lot. One game at a time. One game at a time.
Not crazy.
I realize it now. I realize my error in my ways.
Oregon and Washington and this and that. Then maybe my Trojans might be in that top spot. Woo! I'm rooting for you guys. You guys
I'm
are
just trying to make it happen before we. I'm trying to make sure that we're formidable, so when we get to the Big Ten,
right.
we come bringing something to
Right. So
rival the SEC.
10 step brother. Uh,
Yes.
y'all take care of business out there. Y'all, we know from the beginning of the season, we always thought USC best quarterback, best coach. That's the best team out of all of them. But I've been liking Chip Kelly this year, so
Yeah, he doing the thing with Dorian, man. Dorian's been there. He's like, it's my time. The disrespect. You know what? That always tends to be the teams that have to play little brother to a LA team. UCLA plays little brother to USC.
right.
The Clippers play little brother to the Lakers. Currently, the Chargers are playing little brother to the Rams. Um, it's all we always have that for the most part.
I would say the Chargers and the Rams is playing little brother to the Niners.
Yeah, but I'm just yes, for as far as the California team, but as far as being in the same city, that's why I say I think the Rams have the edge. Of course,
Okay.
playing in the same stadium, and you know, what I'm saying, having that trophy in the same stadium is like but yeah, both of them play. I would say play little brother to the 49ers as far as the state goes.
Y'all just played us in LA and it was 90% San Francisco fan capacity. So I just say that's your home field too.
Anthony, I know this is an affinity for you and your love of the Oregon Ducks. I don't. If Washington can take care of business, I understand they're 24th ranked to a 6th ranked Oregon, but if Washington can muster up enough to take care of business, Oregon may not run the table, run the Pac-12. Like Bo Nix is clicking. Bo Nix said if they had, saying things would have been different if they would have played Oregon, Georgia now. I don't know, Bo.
I don't know.
That might be cap, but you know what I'm saying, we'll go with it, of course. Um, so now it remains to be seen. Like right now, Oregon leads the Pac-12. True enough, by one game, and we'll see what happens. 4 weeks. We'll see what happens in 4 weeks over the course of the next 4 weeks.
I think Oregon got lemon booty syndrome.
I think it's going to happen. It's going down.
It's gonna happen again. I don't think it's. I don't think it's gonna be to Washington. Oregon's favored by 12.5.
Mm-hmm.
They got a tough. Oof. They end the season tough. Washington, Utah.
Mm.
I forgot they.
Washington, yeah, Washington, Utah, Oregon State. Yeah, they got a rough road ahead. Potentially, Washington the first one. Okay, they may take care of Washington. They're gonna have a test in maybe Utah, depending where Utah is at that point, and then to finish with your rival. Looking at the fact is like, nah, we both we ain't there anymore, so you shouldn't be either. You know how that goes. Of course, the SEC currently has 5 teams in the top 25. The Pac-12 rivals that with 5 teams of their own. 4 teams from the ACC. The Big Ten has 4 teams. Big 12 3 teams. American Conference 3, and of course the Independent with 2. One of those, of course, we know being Notre Dame. Uh, and we see, like I said, CFP should be coming out tomorrow. Ron, what would be your prediction from the CFP now? Does Michigan get in,
No,
or are
no,
they
no.
going to be jumped by TCU?
We don't want to be in that top four no more. Don't put us in the CFP one. Don't put us in the AP. Y'all keep us where we're at, outside looking in, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
we don't want y'all, especially when we be Ohio State. No, 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 no. This is where y'all had us at. This is where we're gonna stay. So I hope TCU jumps us.
I mean, it's possible now when they look at it. Everyone tends to talk about it and speak on it. Uh, of course, we can expect not Oregon, University of Georgia to be number one. Ohio State hold on to number two. Uh, number three,
Oregon.
nah, not Oregon. Do you think it's a possibility of Tennessee dropping to number 3,
I think they would drop to 5.
5? Tennessee. So do you think at number 2, do we see a TCU and Michigan get in? Because there's no Clemson. Clemson fell off. So now do we have a situation where we might see Clemson and Michigan as well as TCU in the top 4? And then we have a situation where we have Oregon and Tennessee as 5 and 6.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they showed us that there is no way on God's green earth they're gonna let 2 Big 10 teams in this playoff. So Ohio State or Michigan is gonna be getting bumped out. Um, who? So we'll have Georgia, one of
Mm-hmm.
them, and that leaves 2 more spots.
Yeah, I think that goes to Michigan and TCU.
You think they'll put Michigan in there with 1 loss? I'm not talking about tomorrow.
Oh, you talking about as so? No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
It'll be the 1 loss Tennessee and the 1 loss Oregon.
Mm. So, do you think clearly and concisely that it comes down to really the ratings? Do you think they? I mean, I know they take that in consideration. Do you think in that at that moment it would be that situation? Like, who would people rather see? Would you rather see Ohio State, a potential for Ohio State and Michigan happen again?
Right? Yes. Those is the two. Oh my gosh. It's like Cowboys Lakers. I'm Cowboys Lakers. Dallas LA.
Mm-hmm.
All the lights and the stars. Heart. Oh yeah, that would be better than Oregon versus Ohio State.
Mm.
But I definitely think they're gonna put Tennessee at 5 tomorrow, and they get that spot as soon as somebody lose.
Walk right back in there.
It would have been Alabama if they didn't lose to LSU, but I'm happy. Roll Tide! It won't be.
But it lines up again because now we have now LSU controls their destiny, and now LSU is a possibility in case anyone. All it takes is for one person to lose, and then potentially we can still see a three SEC slate with even a TCU playing party pooper or the winner of the between Ohio State and Michigan being that third spot to where we still have Tennessee, Alabama, Tennessee, LSU, and Georgia if they continue on.
Well, to keep
Which
it
we think is hard because Georgia or Tennessee is going to have to play LSU if they continue on as well for the SEC championship.
I mean, TCU's had a decent schedule, but if they come out this Saturday and beat Texas on the road, they I can't believe they're gonna put TCU in this playoff, Trey.
Especially when they have played TCU schedule. They play with Tarleton. Really? Tarleton? Come on. But they have played number 8, then 18th ranked Oklahoma,
The brakes
ninth,
off boys, Bishop.
19th ranked Kansas, 8th ranked Ohio State, Oklahoma State, 17th ranked Kansas State. And now they face 24th ranked Texas. They're basically going off the same recipe that Tennessee did to move their way up into the top 4 spots.
Like
So
their
it's
schedule a little bit more difficult than Michigan and Ohio State's. Besides the major Big Ten games.
Yeah, so of course, what I'm saying, with that being said, now you possibly look at it to where, and then they after Texas this week, they only have Baylor and Iowa State left on their schedule. Hmm.
Mm, mm, mm.
One, two, three, four consecutive uh top 25 ranked teams. Fifth would be Texas. Um, when you look at it, yeah, they might be in play. Who does LSU have left?
Oh, Big Ten, we need Oregon and TCU to lose. That's how we might get our Michigan Ohio State round two.
TCU lost had I mean LSU lost had a loss to number ranked 8 ranked Tennessee, but they did take care of number 7 and number 6 Alabama and Ole Miss in consecutive weeks.
You can't
Um,
lose LSU or Alabama in over a one loss Michigan or Ohio, can
yeah, they shouldn't. So I think LSU is kind of on the outside looking in. They have games left against, and then their schedule doesn't bode well. Last Arkansas, UAB, and Texas A&M.
yeah, they gonna finish the season riding.
Yeah, they're gonna and they're gonna probably get in. They're not. I don't foresee them cracking the CFP playoff, but I do, however, see them potentially. They're definitely going to get a New Year's Six bowl.
Right, they should have a great bowl, but we've been down on LSU all year.
True that. I'm not gonna lie. We have because
We ask the question all the time: is LSU good? We didn't really look at them as major favorites. It's shocking that they're 7-2. They're like the Tennessee Titans. How y'all get all these wins?
yeah, now, you know what that is because I thought they was down and out, and then look up. Of course, they took the 1 point loss to Florida State at the open the season up 24-23. And then the only other game which they lost was a walloping by Tennessee 40-13. And now here they are sitting in prime
Matter,
position at number 7.
matter of fact, this should be the rematch. This should be the bowl game right here.
So do you think? Because we're right now we're potentially looking at LSU versus Georgia for the SEC championship.
Oh yeah, I'd be forgetting about the SEC championship.
But this is why I asked the question though. Do you think that should hold weight? The championship should hold weight on the CFPs?
1000%.
Okay.
That's like the wild card.
All the teams have to basically go. It's like yes, you made it to this level. You've gone through all those levels, but now you have to face.
they're gonna mess it up. But I don't think LSU is gonna beat Georgia in that SEC championship, and it's not gonna be close. Georgia gonna gonna body slam
Who is Georgia's the rest of the, let me see, what's Georgia's rest of
them.
Georgia's schedule for the
As
remainder of the year.
the body slam everybody once again. Ain't nobody
But
beating.
Ron, you know what? When you look at it,
Georgia.
Georgia has only played two opponents in the on the year. They took care of Oregon first game of the season. Oregon was number one ranked, 11 ranked, and then they just beat Tennessee, who was number one ranked. Beat them 27-13. I think Georgia is susceptible.
42-20 to Florida is a game that we got that counts as well. Florida.
Uh,
He said,
uh, Georgia's rest of the season they have Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Georgia Tech.
So
I
that
really,
game is just we just add more water to that pot.
I think what we're looking at is Georgia is susceptible at this point.
Ain't no way.
Right now, is it safe to say that TCU's schedule looks better than Georgia's?
Well, we're gonna have to go talk to Mizzou because they the only ones that had the formula so far. They 22-26. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
that game that we gonna everybody go look at the film from that game. Unless it was just a Georgia thing, but ain't nobody got within 3 touchdowns of these boys, Trey. So
Of course, Ohio State games on the season left: Indiana, Maryland, and Michigan. Number five, currently ranked number five, Michigan. Uh, but
mhm.
Georgia, Ohio State only played then ranked number five, Notre Dame, number 13 ranked Penn State, and that has been it, as you did say earlier. And then when you look at Michigan, the remainder of their schedule, Nebraska, number 16 ranked Illini, although they're out. I mean, they're low now. And then number two ranked Ohio State, uh, and they paid 10th ranked Penn State. TCU schedule is looking really spicy right now, Ron. SEC will win the whole thing. Just accept it. Stop trying to look at the different avenues. There's avenues, Eric, and there's a possibility that the SEC may not. That has to come into play. They have to start looking at this at some point. If
Only Ohio
Texas,
or Michigan can beat them, Trey.
you said only Ohio State or Michigan could be that could win out in the SEC.
I know this bad man out at USC, Caleb Williams. When I think of the
One
quarterback,
loss, long loss hurt us. That one loss to Utah hurt us.
right? Don't forget the formula. There's a lot that needs to happen. But USC is still a one-loss team. We're gonna have a one-loss USC, a one-loss Oregon, a one-loss Tennessee. Oof. Yeah, we need 6 spots. We need 6 playoff spots.
It's some people out there that has better resumes. TCU right now, in my opinion, is a better resume. Even LSU is sitting on a potential better resume, but LSU has two losses. But right now, TCU, I would feel like should holds the keys. They hold the keys right now. I think.
Uh, they,
I want to believe that. I know it's not true. They're going to continue. They got to have an SEC team, and then currently Tennessee is falling off. It's fell off. So it's going to be hard to dictate that. But TCU right now has the better resume between all the teams. As they always talk about the eye test, has the eye test. They
right.
came back for some games.
They shouldn't be moved out the top four. They shouldn't.
TCU,
They shouldn't be five. Like I said, they should go to four.
yeah, they should be in the top four. They should at this point. They should be in the college playoff.
Georgia,
Uh,
Georgia, Ohio, Michigan, Tennessee. Then we can put TCU at 5, Oregon 6,
hmm That's what it's looking like.
7 USC.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. That's exactly what it's looking like. I could agree with that. Coming down to the wire. So of course, going forth is going to be we're going to see. We'll see come tomorrow night. What the CFP comes up with.
They
Uh,
right, yeah. So they ain't gonna do that list that we just said. I can tell you that. the logic, the logic. Oh no, they gonna put TCU at number one. They gonna like we sick of everybody's stuff.
They not put TCU at number one. I'd be surprised if they put TCU at number one.
Don't be Georgia. Georgia. Why did they do that? Why did they put Georgia at number three last week?
I guess to shake up some things. Yeah, they did disrespect because, like I said, I didn't realize that Ohio State had Ohio State over Georgia too. But
Right. That
we
was
know it
that
was gonna be.
a lot of the reason that probably went into that game. The CFP messed up Tennessee. They gave that's bulletproof foundation stuff to motivate everybody in Georgia. The disrespect. Mm, mm, mm. You think Richard Applewhite cried after the game? Tennessee.
Nah, I think he posted and said it was a good game, and he, saying y'all boys did y'all thing or something like that. Not to take anything away. So, I think what he probably feels is that he may think that they have an opportunity to get back in there, but it doesn't look like it. They were the only thing they controlled their destiny. Now Georgia is going to have now. You have to look and see. I hope that Georgia loses to one of these more inferior teams in Mississippi State, uh, Georgia Tech. Come on now, that's not going to happen. If it happens, it'd be a surprise. It's not to say it can't happen. Uh, Anthony and Eric going back and forth in the comments. So yeah, so I don't see it happening. I think, like you said, Georgia is going to probably be the number one team, and it's going to take only person I think that can catch them. Well, no, I was about to say the only person that probably could catch them would be TCU, but even them, they can't catch them. They have no more ranked opponents currently. I don't think on their schedule, although they do have a good resume. Only one that could probably play in that is USC, because they basically get another week for UCLA to build some momentum before they face off against UCLA. If they knock off UCLA, that should give them more momentum, depending on what everyone else does ahead of them. And then, of course, that gives Notre Dame 2 weeks to build momentum to put them hopefully in the top 15. I would like to see a SEC like jump where they might win 2 games over the next 2 weeks, and then they jump into the top 10, which puts USC against a top 10 opponent again. Where of course that's another resume to get us in. So we'll see.
About all y'all
Uh, um,
waiting.
what's that now?
I
Yeah,
said
we'll
that's
just be.
all y'all can do is
Yeah,
wait.
wait. At this point, yeah, it's too late in the season for anything. Everyone needs help now, except for even I think Georgia needs help to hold on to their spot.
Why you say that? Because of LSU coming?
Nah, just because there's well, yeah, LSU's coming up and depending on the rest. No, you know what? I think they solidified too. There's everyone at this point is just waiting. It's just a waiting game for everybody. I think the spot, everything is already solidified. There's going to be some jumping here and there depending on who takes care, who does what, and when they do it. And then of course the championship series are going to knock. Is going to be the end all be all do all for everybody. uh, so moving into a little NBA conversation, a couple things happened. Golden State. Will this be? Do I choose violence this morning? Let me see. Start off there. Um, Yesterday, 4 games slated yesterday. Um, but before we get into this, Golden State over the course of the weekend lost what is their sixth straight consecutive uh, road game. It's not looking too pretty in the in Golden State. Ryan, of course, coming off a championship season, a couple of people signed. We still have their top two of their core not signed yet. I don't know if there is that if that's on to display anything. Draymond Green option not picked up. Klay Thompson, no extension in sight. Do you think potentially we're going to start to see a slight? step back for the Golden State Warriors, and where they're going to do a little rebuilding as they get ready to try to set themselves up for the next coming as they get closer to the end of Steph's illustrious career. Is it
Um,
time for a reset button?
I've been saying that all year, before and after the championship, um, which they got lucky to win once again.
Mm-hmm.
No shade to Golden State, but yeah, it's the Steph Curry show.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry is tired. Who else on that team is there to help? Andrew. Whew, let's take a look at how Andrew.
That's about the only person I think at this point. Were you about to say it? Andrew Wiggins.
Right, Jordan Poole is not it. They better 3-7, man. Everybody was laughing at the Lakers. How come everybody quiet now?
That part. That's what I'm saying, Ron. You were so right. Everything was about the Lakers, but right underneath our noses, the Golden State Warriors was losing. The Golden State Warriors were losing, or has lost a consecutive 6 losses away on the road. Currently, what are they? 2-8, two and
Three,
six, 2-7, or something like that.
3-7.
3-7, yes, 3-7. So they've lost a consecutive 6 games on the road. Crazy when it comes down to it. Additionally, now this is where it starts to get me. Of course, the Los Angeles Lakers played against the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. The Lakers coming off a 2 game winning streak, looking for a possibility of dispatching and taking care of business at home versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. It just didn't go that well. The Lakers fall 114-100, falling to 2-7 on the year. The Cleveland Cavaliers improved to 8-1. Of course, the Cavaliers led by 33 points from Donovan Mitchell, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a double double from Kevin Love, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 10 points, 1 assist, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists from Karis LeVert, 16 points, 11 rebounds from Jarrett Allen. Darius Garland, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Dean Wade, 2 points, 9 points from Osman, 3 points for Lopez, even Mobley 5 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Lakers, led by LeBron James, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Double double from Anthony Davis with 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. 19 points from Westbrook with 3 rebounds, 10 assists to go along with that. Troy Brown, 12.6 rebounds, 6 points from Lonnie Walker, 1 from Austin Reeves, 8 from Matt Ryan, 2 from Anderson, 2 from Christie, as well as Gabriel with 4 points and 4 rebounds, 2 assists in the loss. So a couple things that came up is they're starting to say that, or is being said, or is wondering why is Warriors are fine. It's early in the season, so we're going to say that for the Warriors, but we're going to try to drag the Lakers. Anthony, that's what we're doing. No, they're not fine. Y'all need to check on y'all Warriors. But like you're saying, it came up. AD, right? AD seems to be getting fewer and fewer touches. He was hot in the beginning of the first half, 4 for 5 shooting. But in the second half, it seemed they went away from him. He touched the ball 3 times in the second half. Um, when they look on it, the question was asked: whose responsibility is it to get Anthony Davis the ball? Is it the coaches? Is it the players? Whose is it? The players, one particular, Russell Westbrook said he leaves that up to the coaches. He's like he goes in and he does what he can to get to best fit the situation where he gets in. The coaches, one coach in particular, head coach Darvin Ham says that they're veterans. He's like these guys are veterans. And they're not rookies. He's like they have free reign to change the course and correct the course as deemed necessary. And basically saying that if AD can call his number in the situation, AD has all the light to sit up and call his number, regardless of what's being ran. Um, but of course, he states that sometimes the game dictates differently. To where as a coach, they're not going to call AD's number either because they might be down, they might need shooting, or whatever the case is. To me, what it sounds like, Ron, is there again a little influx in the Lakers organization where you have a player saying, "Hey, it's on the coaches to sit up and call the play for us to get the ball," and then you had said coach saying, "My veterans have all the right, if they deem necessary, to call the play that's going to put them in place." It sounds like no one knows what there's going on yet again.
No accountability, no leadership, no structure.
No
Um,
structure. True.
in Chiefs, it might have been you and I that was talking about it, but that Genie Bus needs to be the face of the Lakers.
Mm.
Not Palenka. I don't even know why he's still there.
It's
Um,
time. It's time. I think his clock is ticking.
I know we brought in a great coach, but LeBron James is on this team. I don't think that's it. It would need to be like a Coach K type, a Coach Pop, like how Phil Jackson gets brought in. That's who was
Hmm.
brought to heal the Lakers and help their problems. There's no Phil Jackson coming to save LA, so
Need someone that can wrangle that.
there maybe we gonna have to acknowledge that major mistake of getting rid of Homie after he won the championship. What was the coach?
Vogel.
Vogel. I'm pretty sure. Was that the scapegoat move, Trey? Kind
Oh
of like
yeah, it was because now they can't scapegoat anything else. They said that Russ was atrocious. They moved him to the bench. Now he's being very productive off the bench. They're still losing. What's the next scapegoat? You said Vogel was the person. They fired him. They brung in Ham.
we're going up the chain and not
Hmm.
right to the problem. Which
It's like Jenny's. It's looking like Jenny's gonna probably come the second half. If it ain't nothing happen, look like Jenny's gonna have to pull that trigger. It's hard out here for a pimp.
I would look into trading Anthony Davis.
True that. I think he's got the most upside as far as a trade. I think they know. And then you know what? Because what's funny is they talk about pick and rolls, right? So the other night I watched one of the games where LeBron and AD were in a pick and roll situation. LeBron, it was even one of them, even AD or LeBron got the ball. I think AD gave LeBron the ball, and the screen set was set instead of rolling. AD stood there at the top of the key, like didn't go anywhere. It congested the lane, and then they almost turned the ball over. It's like at this point, like you said, there's no one directing the team. You have a power forward that is always handling the ball. You have a shooting. You have a point guard who, for the most part, doesn't have true shot, too good of a shot, but is very effective on coming down and detonating at the rim uh, with random, with reckless abandonment, and a big that for the most part doesn't want to be a center, but would prefer to be a power forward, but sometimes doesn't play like one. It's like the identities are completely everyone wants, and then to sit up and give them the power or give them this platform to say that they're veterans. They determine what. How are you going to get? How does anything get accomplished in that manner? You allow them to believe the setup to say they're going to take care of it. They're going to figure it out. I mean, they're all ball dominant players. Russell Westbrook hasn't graced the coming off the bench, but even when he's in, he's a ball dominant player, and still you have situations to where they all are in the rotation at the same time. Although Russ is coming off the bench, all ball dominant players. At this point, I just don't know, and we're 2-7. Probably Russ's last year with the Lakers. We got 2 more years with LeBron and AD.
My only glimpse of hope for the Lakers is LeBron extended his contract. Now he could have extended that contract and said, "Whatever, I'm just here to score points and take down Wilt Chamberlain's record." Not Wilt's, Kareem's.
Kareem's.
And that's all I need. I'm good in LA. I'm cool. But in my head, I'm like, he only extended because he knows something's in the works behind the scenes. There's a big jewel that might happen. How many coaches you need to make you believe? Yeah, uh, AD and Westbrook do need to be gone. I feel like the Lakers could swap AD for another lesser or close to a top 25 range. Send him up to Portland. Bring down Dame. AD,
Mm.
Bradley Bill, Wizards. You could
So
go
it's funny you say that, Ron. You
Butler.
say that. I go through my mind and I sit and think about like what has been the position combinations that have been effective and that have worked. And every single one of these, there's a one or two guard that are at the helm of it. Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Ja Morant, Dwayne Wade during that time, Rondo. Like there has been always a guard at that equation. LA has a guard, but is he the right guard for that type of in that equation? I don't know, but it has always been a guard that has been at the equation, and that's where I think we're lacking right now. Even LeBron had a guard in Dwayne Wade. Would we be even so to say Chalmers or Smith as well? Kyrie, like all these, Giannis, he had a guard. Drew Holiday. We gotta get some, make something happen. There's always a guard at the equation. Right now, we don't have a guard that's at the equation. We have a point forward. We have 2 point forwards.
If I'm Gene, you can't really, you can't make any. This is it. You can't really do anything. You can't really do anything about Palinka right now. It would have to be like if the season, if we're like talking about the Lakers is 20-60,
Hmm.
20-50 as the season's ending, and nothing changed, and this is just the way it goes. Then we could say, Genie, it's time to let Palinka go, but we can't do that right now because we still got to wait and watch and see.
LeBron wouldn't be able to go there now, Donovan, to the fact that he's the money aspect. It would have been. I mean, it was signed unless he was to sign, but like you know what, I'm taking league minimums.
That's why I don't know why he extended in LA because he would this would have been his last year. He could have said trade me, but he wanted to be loyal. Everybody want to talk about LeBron in 2010 the decision, but staying loyal here. But he's gonna be a loyal loser.
Interestingly enough, moving on and talking about, we was just talking about Ja Morant. The Washington Wizards faced off. Was in Memphis over yesterday. The Wizards, led by Monte Morris's 18 points, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists from Kyle Kuzma. Kristaps Porzingis, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Um, Will Barton, 12 points. Hachimura, 15 points, 3 rebounds. 9 points from Daniel Gafford, 2 points from Taj Gibson. Uh, Corey Kispert with 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And Denny Adivia, 4 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Um, of course, uh, Bradley Beal was out as he's into the health and protocol for the Washington Wizards. 12 points. I'm sorry, Will Barton, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. As the Grizzlies take care of business, winning 103 to 97, improving to 7-3 on the year. 4-6 goes the Wizards. Of course, the Memphis Grizzlies, led by their duo, 28 points from Desmond Bain, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists from Ja Morant. Dylan Brooks, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Santi Aldama, 4 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Steven Adams, 4 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. 16 points from Brandon Clark, 7 from Tyus Jones. Ja and Desmond, Ryan. Is that the new top duo on the slick? I know a lot of people tend to talk about Javante and Trey. Is Ja and Desmond what everyone's want to see?
That's hustle and flow.
Mm,
We Jaws that hustle. Woof. Dunking on everybody. And Desmond Bain come out last year. I'm the best shooter in the league outside of Steph Curry. Y'all can get these receipts and these stamps. And he shows up and just knocks them down, pulls up from half court, real smooth with it. Oh, yeah. Them boys, that's the best backcourt.
mm. Another game, the third game yesterday. Chicago Bulls pulled up to Toronto. Toronto is that team that no one's really talking about, in my opinion. It takes care of business. The Raptors get the 113-104 win, 6-4 on the year. The Bulls 5-6 on the year. The Bulls led by DeMar DeRozan, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Nikola Vucevic, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. 15 points from Ayo Dosunmu, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. 16 points, Gorgon Dragic. 10 points for Javante Green. 4 points, Derek Jones. Patrick Williams, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Caruso contribute 4 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. The Raptors, currently without their leading scorer, Pascal Siakam, who is due to be out 2 weeks due to a left abductor sprain. But they still have other players. Fred VanVleet, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists on the night. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists from OG Anunoby. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists from Scotty Barnes. 11 points from Christian Koloko. Uh, they just took care of business. Gary Trent Jr., 12 points, 3 rebounds, no assists. Chris Boussier, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Otto Porter, 2 points. Thaddeus Young, 4 points. And Precious Achua, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. That's your man, isn't it? You really have you think Precious is going to be something in this league to come, Ron?
Uh, I like his game. He's
Mm-hmm.
a strong defender. Get you some rebounds.
And then, of course, last but not least, still without their floor general, I guess you could sense, in Kawhi Leonard. The Utah Jazz faced off against the Clippers in LA yesterday, in which the Jazz, 8-3 on the year, took care of business. Clippers 5-5 in their current campaign. The Jazz, led by Jordan Clarkson's 23 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Colin Sexton, 22 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists from Lauri Markkanen. 17 points from Mike Conley, 7 rebounds for 4 assists. 9 points from Kelly Olynyk. Malik Beasley, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Rudy Gay, 2 points. Walker Kessler, 4 points. Talon Horton Tucker, 5 points, 2 rebounds. And Nickel Alexander Walker, 2 rebounds on the night. The Clippers, led by Paul George, 34 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists from Marcus Morris Sr. Ivica Zubac, 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists, 14 points, Terrence Mann, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 12 points from Jaw Wall, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Reggie Jackson, 3 points and 1 rebound, 6 points from Norman Powell, 3 from Batum. Uh, they face off. They have another game tonight in which they're going to do a back-to-back. But currently tonight they're looking at possibly being without uh, both their point guards as well as their backup guard in Luke Kennard, as well as of course Kawhi Leonard's out. So the expectation is that if Reggie Jackson isn't able to go because he's the real one here, because John Wall hasn't played any back-to-back games since the beginning of the season. And Kennard is out. Kennard is potentially out with chest pain. Paul George is going to be the point guard. I don't see any case, form, or fashion in which Paul George, even though he can do utility wise, he can run the point, but if he's already the man that's set up the stat sheet with points, and now he's a man with the ball in his hand. I don't foresee the Clippers getting the W with that formula.
Um, Last night the Clippers blew it. They they are a better team than Utah, and they was up late in the fourth quarter, and Paul George couldn't come through. Utah continuing to confuse us on
Playoff P.
why are the Utah Jazz 8-3 this morning. My thoughts on this game is you said the Clippers are playing again, but the Cavs is playing again, and they're on the road.
They coming to LA.
They're 8-1, and
Mm-hmm.
really want to say they're gonna win this game, but this is their third game in 4 days, and this is the Clippers' third game in 4 days, and there's like four other teams, maybe like five. That this is their third game in 4 nights. Um, they're wearing these boys down.
Ron always said he does not agree with the season, the NBA season. Uh,
I'm just looking at everybody's games. I was so shocked when I opened up all the games tonight. And I'm like, everybody play,
yeah,
everybody play.
everybody.
Wow, this is
15.
a lot of games. A lot of people is hurt. A lot of just about everybody's day to day. Um, Kawhi Leonard is a bust.
Nah, we can't say that.
It's like I ain't playing all these games. Road trip after road trip, 3 different cities in 4 nights. AP, I don't. I kind of feel Kawhi. Like my knees is old. I can't be. Gotta get back to
He's
LA.
like, y'all gotta pick a. He's like, y'all gotta pick a struggle. Even I struggle, or even y'all struggle now, or I come back late, get us in the playoffs, and we struggle, and or we want, or I play now, get us there, we struggle in the playoffs. I gotta pick a struggle.
I'm not gonna sit here on this platform and disrespect Kawhi Leonard. He is a savage on a basketball court. He's like the remix version of Black Mamba, a silent killer, lock you down defensively, but he's just getting old now, and he's trying to preserve it as much as he can. He's ready for the playoffs.
So that's what I'm saying. Ooh, 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 like, oh, before I go quick. Yeah, so other players are out. Phoenix Ford undergoes surgery, right torn meniscus in the knee. In his final year is of his rookie contract. He gets signed extension. Uh, into the starting lineup. Ron, you we believe that he's played his son for him to get for the most year for him enough he do enough this year before with Missy tear. I don't know if he needs to this even a late push or maybe he recovers if he is get an opportunity. Does he by the or this team already? I talk about them Toronto's uh weeks So we look to see he has more to I'm sorry, my fault, my fault. Goodness gracious. I couldn't they wouldn't let me back in. Sorry about that. Uh in any case, like I was saying before I was interrupted on whatever however, um I'm saying Brooklyn. Lesser of two evils between Brooklyn. Of course, if you've been paying attention or was paying watching over the course of the weekend or the last week, uh, there has been a situation to where Kyrie Irving, guard for the Brooklyn Nets, was suspended for 5 games in regards to what they said he did or did not come forth and state, or I guess he basically condemned or say that what he had going on with the in his post to a certain movie. It brought up a lot of, I guess you could say, a firestorm in different ways. And he was suspended 5 games. So currently, since that suspension, Kyrie Irving has, of course, been suspended by Nike, in which his shoe launch was supposed to go down. What's today? Is it today or tomorrow? Supposed to go down tomorrow. They were supposed to launch the Kyrie 8, in which Nike has delayed that in regards to the situation. Additionally, what came out over the weekend is now Kyrie has 6 benchmarks in which he must reach in order to be back with the team. That being, he must apologize and condemn the movie. Of course, it was already said that unequivocally he did not say that he condemns or he does not believe or what his beliefs are in reference to the movie as we know it as Hebrews to Negroes, wake up, Black America. Um, Additionally, he has to pay a $500,000 donation to an anti-hate cause, in which he did do that initially. But of course, the president of the ALDL, which is the Anti-Defamation League, came on and stated that they cannot accept Kyrie's Irving due to the fact that they believe that he is not um, genuine in his stance in reference to anti-Semitism. He has to go through sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with the ADL and Jewish leaders, as well as meet with owner Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding. Now, I'm a person myself that tends to take hard stances on some things. in which at this point, if I was Kyrie, I think those would be one of the stances in which I can't stand. One thing I believe is that a person is going to do what they're going to do regardless. However, if you try to force me to do said thing, then that's when you get kickback because a person does not want to has to feel like they've been forced into something, even if they're going to do it initially anyway. I think at this point, of course, I know it's a lot to be said in reference to this. It comes from a whole bunch of different angles, but at this point, you're forcing him to do these things for the sake of what? Is this anything in which the NBA can see, be like, hey, if he doesn't do this, we're going to suspend him? Is it a situation to where if he doesn't do any of those things to where they decide to trade him, will he be expected to do any of these things with the next organization? Like, or is this just something based upon other people's beliefs? I don't know, Ron. What do you think about it, man?
Um,
It's going too far, I think, at this point.
is to make an example. Is to show and demonstrate what occurs when this behavior happens, and if they want it to be known, the untouchables, that this is
Hmm.
unacceptable behavior. When this behavior is demonstrated, this is how you will be treated amongst the masses, and it continues to happen. And it, I, would you say Kyrie just keep taking the hits? Just you can take them, Kyrie.
You know what?
Pay.
It's funny you say that, Ron,
Go ahead.
because it's now you look at the situation to where someone said it on the show the other day in the comments. I think it was drunk that brung up, or someone said it like Kyrie. Like, why is this? It only happens to Kyrie. So, so now we have to. And so in that you have to just as we sit and say here, like, is this starting to be too much for Kyrie? Who stands alone with Kyrie? You also have to take into consideration why is it only happening to Kyrie? Is he a beacon for this? Is this what just comes along with saying? And we don't want to be. We of course we're not saying the whole shut up and dribble thing is the situation, but there's every battle is not a fightable battle. I
Um,
would sit and say every battle is not a fightable battle, but is this one in which he needs to be engaged in for the most part? Like we consistently see. Of course, they say last year. Would we say that Kyrie is part of his problem, or is it this not even a problem and it's just he's a victim of circumstances at this point?
why do we feel like this has only happened to Kyrie? First of all, let's go to the biggest martyr. You don't think this is the same thing that happened to Colin Kaepernick?
So it did.
You
It
go
did.
against the masses. We don't like what you're doing. We're taking everything. And Colin Kaepernick didn't come at, our Jewish brothers. He came at American ones by
Mm-hmm.
stepping on the flag, which an Army veteran told him to take a knee is more respectable. But
Was respectable, yeah.
it didn't even matter. And he eventually got it all back. One of my favorite people that this happened to is Nick Cannon, actually came out and said the same exact things about Kyrie. Now, Nick Cannon said, I'm taking one lash and I'm done. I'm apologizing. Y'all ain't taking Wild out. Matter of fact, I'll apologize so quick. Y'all going to give me all these new platforms. Yeah, shout out to him. He's coming up now.
Yes,
uh,
back like he never left.
But if we come out, even if we do it on our platforms, we gotta take our lashes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just Kyrie.
It, it's unfortunate what's happened to the young man. I mean, 30 years old, um, and to be
What,
now
what
in
Trey?
this
What about
position.
Kanye? His net worth went from like 4.5 billion to 400 million. Can you imagine just losing like 3.5 billion in 78 hours?
No, do you, man? Goodness gracious, can you? I And legitly, I believe that is something that at some point where it becomes one of those situations where it's like, yo, did what I am I what is what I'm doing really that serious, or is it my worth? And you're saying like, what is it worth? Like, you work to build that type of worth, like that type of wealth, and for it to be all taken away for you saying something or having a certain stance, that you know what I'm saying, the stance can be subjugated. I mean, it becomes or a person's beliefs and that type of stuff. But to go, like you said, to go from a billionaire and within 73 hours, 75 hours, 3 days, now look at, I'm no longer a billionaire. I've been relegated back down to six figures, mid six figures.
400 million, man. Could you imagine a reduction in lifestyle? Ain't no more PJs.
Seven figures, nine figures. I mean, so yeah. So it's like this is that's. I'm sorry, Kanye. I put you additional. My fault. Nine figures. So, but now it's the same thing happened to Kyrie. Although they have not completely pulled out, they just suspended. Nike's still on. Suspended his shoe launch, so he's still there potentially. Um,
But but the mission was accomplished. Kanye and Kyrie are both crazy. You have to be crazy to get to where how how they see the world. And to understand how they see the world, you have to go watch Hebrews to Negroes, because it's some wild theories that's backed up with historical evidence in that documentary. And that's why I say the mission was accomplished, because everybody's talking about it.
that part.
Everybody that pay attention to sports why is everybody talking about Hebrews and Negroes? What is it about?
What's this going on? People going to look at it. Amazon banking right now. Shout out to Jeff Bezos.
I can tell you a lot of people ain't gonna like what it says in there.
So interesting enough, as we just said, we talk about Jeff Bezos. As I was just saying, shout out to Jeff Bezos. Uh, we are currently have a situation to where it's a possibility. And how much money does AB lose? Is AB even the star power of Kyrie or Kanye? I don't think he is.
I don't, I don't know if we could put AB in this conversation.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he got that type of star power to where losing that type of money, or he got where he lost a lot in everything. Um, but like I was about to say, I was bringing up, uh, as we all know, potentially, as a matter of fact, Anthony Price, while you're here, that potentially the Washington Commanders can potentially be up for sale. In this, we already had a situation to where two names emerged as linking up to put together an ownership group. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, CEO of Amazon, and
Oh,
H to the
he's old.
Izzo
He did it.
as well have looked at putting together an ownership team. Of course, you still have the runner up from last year from the Denver trade. Not Denver trade, the Denver sale. In let me get his name. Make sure I get his name correct. Um, I had it wrote down. Matt Isaba is Ishbia is also has an interest as he was the runner up in the before Walton was able to buy the Denver Broncos. Even media mogul Byron Allen has said he's interested as well in potentially purchasing uh, the Washington Commanders if they do go on sale. But what came into fray is Kevin Durant himself stated he would not mind, he put his name out there so he can be able to get on to get in where he fits in as well as one of those ownership groups. Although he states he doesn't know if he has that type of money to be able, because that's a lot of money when you talk about. It's like you gonna give up your net worth to get on one of these ownership groups. Um, but he said he's interested, if possible, if anyone deems that he can be of any assistance in getting on part of the organization, as because he would like to be an owner. Of course, he is a diehard Washington Commanders fan, so he was like, it would be nothing better than to be an owner of said um, organization, as he was his childhood team. Ron, I asked this question, like everyone, of course, we know money makes the world go round for the most part.
Cash rules everything around me.
Cream gets the money,
Dollar, dollar.
but would you, for the sake of being an owner, are you open to owning anything as opposed to being a stakeholder in the 76ers, the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers? Like, are you open to being a owner in Memphis?
Right. Any sports team. Um. Even any ownership group. We could even talk about soccer, MLS.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity that you should venture into, like Kevin Durant said, if you got that type of money. Like even if you could be 0.5% owner, sign me up.
Mm-hmm. Because you see, Byron Allen, he's been trying to get an organization for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a sub. It's like the last three organizations he'll put a bid in, and he hasn't been able to secure it. But he's, saying he's been trying. I think right now Magic is looking and putting in a bid for something. I can't. It slips me at the time frame, but it's like I, I initially I looked at it as the allegiance, but yeah, that allegiance, like I said, is money. Dwayne Wade is from Chicago, but he has ownership stake in Utah.
Think about the boardrooms now that he got to sit in with all of them billionaires. Just growing and connecting and getting those rooms and networking.
Mm-hmm. You gotta look at it like, did the Miami, at minimum, the Miami Heat, did they offer him an ownership stake? You take a look at some things. So he's on in Utah and started to put his money there. So it's interesting. But I had, when I was sitting there, I was like, would I? Could I?
You
It's
absolutely
like, yeah, it's like if you're gonna be an owner, it's like, you know what? Sure enough, I'm gonna be here. Your 5% don't get you a seat.
you gotta stand in the back. You get in the room. I'm okay.
You in the back on the corner, you can see the top of your head in the ownership picture.
Ignorant.
But yeah, if you only doing it for the money, don't do it. Why? Okay, so let's go on to Eric. Why not? At that point, why not? What else could possibly be? What else could possibly be anything different in that state when we talk about a team ownership of being set for it to do it for the money? What else could you possibly be doing outside of maybe coming to it to where now you can enact certain initiatives that you stand behind to push forward as an owner in that organization? But besides, what else could you possibly do it for besides the money, Eric? At that level.
Networking, but that's for money too. Our connection, loyalty. I'ma choose money. Do it for the money.
So yeah, but it becomes a how wealthy you get wealthier.
And it ain't gonna be a lot of it.
But without a doubt, like Ron said, he got a man. He might not. Okay, when you chase money, you make emotional mistakes. Yeah, but Jeff got the loot to do it. It's unfortunate, but yeah, KD ain't got that type. I don't think KD has that type of money. It's unfortunate. Like Ron said, it'll be a small stake for what he probably be able to offer.
1%.
100 million. You work up 100 million, you only get a small percentage.
and that's like 60% of cash. Well, I don't know. I don't think he has more than 500 mil. It's crazy. We know the amount of money this man got.
Yeah, he's definitely not that. Yeah, he would have to build some serious endorsements at this point. He has the boardroom. There's certain things. I'm very sure he has various streams, but it's probably not enough to get into that club. Got you. Oh yeah, it's definitely selling for $1 billion or more, 2 billion at minimum, maybe even more than that. What the last team sell for? 4 billion was it? What the Broncos sell for?
Yeah, it was up there.
Yeah, like regardless, even if it's worth that, it's going to sell for more than
I
what the
think
Broncos sold for.
like 4.9 or something was.
Yeah, Nation's capital as well. Like it's gonna sell. Like us believing that we could be an ownership group is all out the door unless we hit that the Powerball tonight.
And it's only going to be worth double, maybe triple what it is now in 5, 6 years to a decade. You imagine these teams originally was just being so, oh, to bought a
Look,
team or
I
something,
sit up and think about the Clippers all the time, like what that was purchased for, and now what it's worth. 2 weeks in a or so. Let's shout out in case whoever becomes a Byron Allen. I hope you get a chance. Jay-Z, of course, making his stake, trying to do it, make it happen. So we'll see. We'll see who starts to emerge. Um, but of course, yesterday, you know what, Ron? We did horribly. I did more so than anyone, but we did horribly yesterday. Do you know?
I came home with my Rams hat.
Yeah, if you hit the Powerball, you still can't buy. You can't. So if you hit the Powerball, well, you know what? You're right. You're exactly right. It goes back. You hit the Powerball, you won't get to make exactly what Ron was just talking about. What Kanye makes. It's 1 billion, but you're gonna drop to about 400 million,
Oh yeah,
in which that still doesn't put you in the room to purchase.
they just scam us. Every single thing, every opportunity.
Every time I told you the pixels off. Not all our pixels off currently. Uh, Ron and myself are way below 500. Ron at 4-7 currently with one more game. Oh, correction, 5-7, and I'm 6-6.
You
Uh,
6?
yeah, I'm 6-6. Ron's 5-7, and Bishop
No,
is 9-3
no, he
on
caught.
the week. Yes, so that means, of course, on the currently on our overall 71. That puts Bishop at 71-47, Ron at 71-40. Well, correction, 72-46, and I'm at 64-54,
Oh,
with, of course, one game remaining tonight, which we'll get to momentarily. It's like, nah, 40% get you about 700 million.
wow.
So right, yeah, but right now Bishop is a half game behind y'all, half game behind you with one game remaining, possibly maybe they'll be able to catch. But he went 9-3 on the week, still with one game left, and then 5-7 for you, 6-6 for me. Um, but before getting into that, really, a lot for the most part went on. Still, this season still continues to baffle me. Uh, with everything that's going on, of course, injuries add to abysmal performance for the Green Bay Packers and that bad man. That's where we tend to start off this morning. Uh, Green Bay. Would you say the season's over for Green Bay, Ron?
Indubitably.
Aaron Rodgers, 23 for 43, 291 yards, one touchdown, three interceptions. Uh, leading rusher with 4 carries for 40 yards. A.J. Dillon, 11 for 34. Aaron Jones was 9 for 25 before he was one of those injuries that left the game. Ankle injury. Alan Lazard, 4 receptions for 87 yards. He was a long touchdown. Josiah DeGuerra, 5 receptions for 41 yards. Sammy Torre, 34 receiving yards. Robert Tonyan, 29. Christian Watson, 2 for 24 before, again, he left with a potential concussion. Romeo Dobbs was 1 of 18. Again, he left with a high ankle sprain. He left the game as well. They're already without wide receiver Randall Cobb. It just keeps piling up. Jared Goff, 14 for 26, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jamal Williams, 24 carries for 81 yards. Justin Jackson, 4 for 27. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 receptions, 55 yards. Andre Swift, 3 for 40. James Mitchell was 2 for 8 with a touchdown, as well as Zystra, who was 1 for 1 yard and a touchdown. 17 for Khalif Raymond, off of 3 receptions. As the Detroit Lions improved to 2-6 on the year, taking care of business against the Green Bay Packers, who now fall to 3-6 as they win 15-9. Do you think? I know he just signed a deal, 3-year deal, Ron.
Mhm.
Is it about time for that bad man to hang him up?
Absolutely not. He just needs to. Well, he did just sign a contract. He ain't going nowhere. The Rams season is over. Jesus. No, he shouldn't
Told you I
hang.
already wanted. Mm.
Green Bay just gonna have to give him some people to throw to next year.
Of course, like Anthony was saying, it's going to be even looks even a little more suspect for Green Bay as their next 3 is a combined 19-4. With that being the Dallas Cowboys, the Tennessee Titans, and the Philadelphia Eagles, all in succession. We could be looking at a potential 9-16, 3-19 at the end of this week. Um, Of course, in other games or games to point out, uh, Chicago. Let's talk about them Bears, right? Chicago Bears faced off against the Miami Dolphins, in which Justin Fields broke a couple of records. Of course, Justin Fields, 17 for 28, 123 yards passing with 3 touchdowns to go along, as well as 15 carries for 178 yards plus a touchdown. David Montgomery, 14 for 36. Khalil Herbert was 7 for 23. Cole Kemet was 2 for 9. Darnell Mooney was 7 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. Cole Kemet, 5 receptions for 41 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions, 13 yards for newly acquired Chase Claypool. Dante Pettis was 1 for 12, and Montgomery was 1 for 8 himself. Of course, with Justin Fields, 178 yards rushing, he now currently is the owner of the regular season single uh, game rushing record with 107 yards. Previously, this record was held by Mike Vick of 175 yards. Of course, Justin Fields was 3 yards short of the all-time record, which is held by, of course, we was talking about earlier, Colin Kaepernick, which was 181 yards that he won in the divisional round game. Um, Fields now holds the franchise record additionally for the Chicago Bears single rushing game, which stood for 50 years by Bobby Douglas, who had 127 yards rushing initially. Uh, Ron, we talk about it a lot. Is Fields that dude for the most part? Are we starting to see him grow up before our very eyes, or are these just isolated incidents, you think?
No, 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 no. Everybody in Chicago was watching him play against them. Okay, we got something here. Put another wide receiver on that field. We got problems.
Of course, it's very beneficial to be able to have a. He is getting better as Eric says. It's been beneficial to be an agile quarterback. If you look at it over the course of the years, 2012, Colin Kaepernick with the 181, that was the year they went to the Super Bowl. However, they didn't win. In 2022, now Fields has 178. We'll see how the rest of this year plans out. Michael Vick, 2002, had 173. 2006, Michael Vick, 168. 2019, Lamar Jackson, 152. Is that not the year Lamar Jackson won the MVP? Uh, it's very advantageous to be a mobile quarterback, as we've seen it over the course of the years, where players have been mobile and they've been effective. We talk about it with Josh Allen. Even Danny Dimes has the ability to get up and go. Uh, is won Heisman trophies for players, so it bodes well to have that trait. But now, is it potentially going to be effective enough to get Chicago out of the cellar in their division and maybe start to move them forward a little bit? It remains to be seen. But at this point, like everyone's saying, we're starting to. Ron was just saying, Eric said it. He's starting to make moves. Can you compare Fields to Hurts with Hurts? Uh, that's a little bit different. Let's say this: would Fields be as effective as he is right now if he was in? Would we have the same success as Hurts had if he was in? If they switched the offenses, switched the teams? If Hurts was in Chicago and Fields was in Philadelphia, would their outcomes be the same?
Um, something Eric said is that the Bears traded two of their best players and Fields got better. I would say the first thing that came to my mind was probably because them two was up in there arrogant, acting like they was running the show. And now that they got them cancers out, he got more control and leadership of his locker room and
Mm-hmm.
show that composure and be the leader of this team. If we switching him and Hurts, I feel like the way the confidence he just got from making them moves,
Mm-hmm.
it had to be some on the inside that's not going to come out. But he kind of got to the level where Hurts got to last year with
Mm.
confidence and that's what he was able to carry that swag into this year.
Correct. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Talking about no 5-0. We're not talking about any of that. We focus. I think that's where Fields will be at next year.
Mm-hmm.
So if they switch this year, I think Hurts will have the Bears looking a whole lot better. And
Because
the
now he has
Eagles
built that
may
confidence.
be about like 5-3.
Okay. Additionally, of course, with another, well, like I said, overall, in this game, Chicago did end up losing 35-32. The Miami Dolphins Tua Tagovailoa is 21 because reception 21 completions for 30 yards, 302 yards. Correction. 21 completions for on 100 on 30 attempts with 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. Uh, Jeff Wilson traded to the 49ers from the 49ers to the Dolphins last week, 9 carries for 51 yards. Raheem Mostert traded from the 49ers to Miami the year before, 9 receptions, 9 carries for 26 yards and 1 touchdown. Tua had 5 carries but no yards. Tyreek Hill, 7 receptions, 143 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 5 receptions, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. Jeff Wilson, 3 receptions, 21 yards, 1 touchdown. Cedric Wilson, 23 yards receiving, as well as Trent Sheffield with 27 yards receiving. As the Dolphins do get the W, winning 35-32, improving to 6-3 on the year. Currently sitting tied for second in their division behind the Buffalo Bills. Like you were saying earlier, the Buffalo Bills is most likely expected to be uh, removed from the number one power ranking as they fall to the Jets unexpectedly with a uh, with a 17-20 victory. Now the Jets 6-3 on the year, tied with Miami. The Buffalo Bills 6-2 on the year. Josh Allen 18 for 34, 205 yards passing, 2 interceptions. Josh Allen was 9 for 86 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. Devin Singletary 8 for 24. James Cook was 4 for 15. When it comes to receiving, Stephon Diggs with 5 receptions and 93 yards. But all of that came in the first half as the Jets locked him down and decided to make some moves where it's like, nah, no more is going on. He didn't touch the ball, not yet again. The rest of the second half, Gabe Davis 2 receptions for 33 yards, including he did drop a pass that would have probably extended the play for Buffalo to be in position to tie the game or go ahead and win. Dawson Knox 3 for 25. Singletary was 4 for 24. Cook was 2 for 18. The Jets, led by Zach Wilson's 18 for 25, 154, 1 touchdown. Michael Hardy, 12 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. Robinson contributed with 13 carries for 48 yards, 5 from Zach Wilson for 24 yards. Garrett, 8 receptions, 92 yards. Receiving, Uzuma was 3 for 16. Denzel Mills, 1 for 12, and Michael Hardy was 1 for 10 himself. Again, what we see, Ron, is these dismal numbers: 154 yards passing, 127 yards passing, but yet these teams are winning games. Why is that, do you think?
You kind of said it when you're talking about college football. Is it because it's a rivalry game? This is the biggest Buffalo. This was basically a Buffalo versus Buffalo game. We talk about where the Jets play. It was. I wish I would have been able to watch the whole game, but the Jets was fighting back and forth with them the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
It was just. It was a battle.
Additionally, I know since we have Eric in the comments, the Minnesota Vikings faced off against the Washington Commanders as the Commanders played the host, and the Vikings played the spoiler, getting the W, 20-17, improving to 7-1 on the year, 4-5 behind for the Washington Commanders. Cousins 22 for 40, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dalvin Cook 17 carries for 47 yards. Justin Jefferson was 1 for 10. Jefferson 7 receptions, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. Dalvin Cook 2 receptions for 9 yards with a touchdown. Adam Thielen 3 for 67. T.J. Hockenson, newly acquired T.J. Hockenson, 9 receptions for 70 yards. Whew. The Commanders 15 for 28 for 149 yards with Terry Heineke, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Brian Robinson Jr., 13 carries for 44 yards. Antonio Brown, 11 for 36. Amari Rogers, 1 for 24. Curtis Samuel, 3 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. Terry McLaurin, 5 for 56. Dax Milan was 1 for 6 with a touchdown, 2 receptions, 11 yards for Antonio Gibson, and Cameron Sims was 1 for 12 yards. Ron, as we see Eric with the 7-1, you like that? Is it about time to start giving Minnesota their props?
Kirk Cousins got to win a primetime game. Once he wins one, all I'm saying is one, Trey. Is that so
Just
bad?
one. Just one. That's all you asked for is one.
I was extremely nervous for the Vikings going on the road and going into Washington as they were starting to feel themselves a little bit. But this was a great win for them. Washington looked young, but Vikings, of course, have to get our respect. Are they the number 2 team in the NFL?
It's starting to look like it, bro.
Eagles?
It's starting to look like it, man.
Yeah, we can give them number 2. That's them all day. They've had an incredible season, but these games is roller coasters for them. Roller coasters. And I just want to see one primetime game. Let's see if we can find the next one.
It's probably if he can win in prime time, then we can sip and start. We can give him tell us like, okay, they're real. A team that's taken a complete different stance from what we initially thought. The Las Vegas Raiders up by 17 points, fall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars improved to 3-6 on the year. The Raiders dropped to 2-6 on the year. Derek Carr was 21 for 36, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries for 67 yards. Um, Devontae Adams, hot in the first half, 10 receptions, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. Foster Moreau, 2 receptions for 42 yards. Jacobs, 3 for 20. Hunter Renfrow, 3 for 26. And then they went away. They moved, they changed the game plan, and it proved to be deadly for them as they take the L. Trevor Lawrence, 25 for 31, 235 yards, 1 touchdown. Travis Etienne Jr., 28 carries, 109 yards, rushing with 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence with carries for 53 yards. Christian Kirk, 8 receptions, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Marvin Jones, 5 receptions, 48 yards. Zay Jones, 5 receptions for 40 yards. 19 for 1 reception for 19 yards for Dan Arnold. ETN had 2 for 17 himself. I would ask the question, but one question that was said, Devontae Adams, like, there's no reason we should be playing like this. No reason whatsoever. He just didn't understand how they ended up in the position they was in, saying they were rolling, assumingly, and went away from him. And honestly, the team was just 10-7 last year as a playoff team underneath interim coach. Currently, they're 2-6 under Coach McDaniels for the most part. On the year, we have had certain situations to where they have basically 4 games in which they was the 17 up by 17 points or more, in which they have lost. The Raiders are 1-3. The only other 2 teams to do it this year has been the Ravens. They're 1-2. The Texans did it, which ended up earning them a tied game on the year. But all other 29 teams in the NFL, if up by 17 or more, has secured the win, which all the other teams are 43-0 when it comes to being having a 17-point lead or more at some point in the game. What do you say for a team that can't close it out, Ron? Is it mental? Is it the coaches' era? Is it the players, or is it a whole, or is everyone to blame for that?
Yikes! I don't have the answers for this one this time because oh my gosh, it was like Devontae's coming out party all over again. I don't. Oh my god, it was just it's mental collapse. It got to just be everybody because even as he scored that second touchdown,
Mm-hmm.
there was no celebrating. There was no smile. It was frustration. He like was banging the ball up against himself. Like, why don't we do this every time? So it's coach, it's Derek Carr. Ugh.
After they they should have never gave you money. And that's what it comes out to be, man. It seems like everyone when they get these dollars, the hunger is gone. And it's like Derek sit up and talked about that, and basically he's in the position. It's like he hasn't showed improved. He hasn't done anything where we could be like, you know what, I'm really feeling Derek, or Derek is living up to it. It's crazy. A couple other games we want to point out, of course, the Seahawks. Ron, is it finally time to give the Seahawks that love? 6-3 on the year with a 31-21 win over the Cardinals, who dropped to 3-6 on the year. Seahawks 6-3. Geno Smith 26 for 34, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Kenneth Walker the third, 109 yards rushing on 26 carries with 2 touchdowns. Geno contributed with 38 yards on 6 carries. Noah Fant 96 yards on 5 receptions. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf a touchdown apiece, both 5 receptions apiece. Tyler Lockett 67 yards on the day. DK Metcalf 37 from him. Kenneth Walker Jr. contributed with 3 receptions for 20 yards, as well as Will Disley with 24 off of 3 receptions, and Travis Homer 25 yards off of 3 receptions. The Cardinals, Kyler Murray 25 for 35, 175, 2 touchdowns. Kyler Murray also 8 carries for 60 yards. James Conner back in action, 7 carries for 45 yards. Eno Benjamin 4 for 12. Rondale Moore was 8 receptions for 69 yards. Zach Ertz 5 for 40 with a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins 4 for 36 with a touchdown. James Conner was 5 for 19, and Eno Benjamin was 1 for 15 yards. Ongoing joke is that Kyler Murray has not won a game since the Modern Warfare 2 has launched. So, as a team for real, Ron would never give
Oh
Geno
my
his
god.
flowers. Maybe it's time to start acknowledging
Right,
the Seahawks.
right. I doubted them. I doubted the Seahawks. That's why Bishop whooped me this week in our picks, and I'm hurt. And the Cardinals are a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Modern Warfare's fault, maybe not. But when you are a good team, you show up on the road and manhandle and beat bad teams, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
the Seahawks did. They are that was a great win. Um, and it came down to they battled it the whole way out. It was the rivalry aspect as well. Trey, I think we might have to put them at number 2, move the Vikings to 3.
Ooh.
When are we gonna do our rankings?
Uh, our rankings we're gonna do it
We got
tomorrow after
after
tomorrow's
what?
ranking come
Yep.
out. Yeah, after tomorrow's ranking, we'll tap in and do it tomorrow. So yeah, it's starting to look. But someone we know that won't be in the rankings that was there. Both teams was there. Both these teams faced off yesterday. The Los Angeles Rams faced off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Rams take the L, losing 16-13. Uh, Rams dropped to 3-5 on the year. The Buccaneers 4-5 in their W. Matt Stafford was 13 for 27, 165 yards, 1 touchdown. Darrell Henderson rushed 12 carries for 56 yards. Malcolm Brown was 2 for 9. Cooper Kupp 8 receptions, 127 yards, 1 TD. Allen was 3 receptions for 24 yards. Malcolm Brown was 1 for 10. Cup may be formidable, but he can't do it by himself. The Buccaneers, Tom Brady, 336 for 58 on 280 yards and a touchdown. Tom Brady now stands alone as the only quarterback ever to pass for over 100,000 yards in total passing yards. That's combining regular season and um, postseason playoffs, over 100,000 yards, 6 figures for passing. But of course, on the opposite side of that, he is also the most sacked quarterback in NFL history. Rashad White 8 carries for 27 yards. Leonard Fournette was 9 for 19. Kay Odden 5 receptions for 68 yards with a touchdown. Scott Miller 7 for 53. Leonard Fournette was 5 for 41. Mike Evans 5 for 40 on his own. Chris Godwin 6 receptions for 36 yards. Julio Jones was 2 for 28. But in any case, Rams fall yet again. Ron, is it the hangover?
No, man, it's effing frustrating because the Rams manhandled the Bucks all game.
Mm-hmm.
Despite our slow offense, we was ahead a touchdown the whole game, just beating up on Tom Brady. Of course, our offense is just throw it to Cup. That got slowed down. We couldn't do anything.
Yeah, because
And
they did lock it down. Yeah, they did lock it
Tom
down.
Brady with the miracle drive with 30 seconds left, and the Rams let the touch. Oh my gosh, man! What a pitiful performance by the Rams. They're not a. I don't think a wide receiver would change all of this. There's a lot of chaos going on in that organization with the Cam Akers
Mm-hmm.
situation, the running back room, the wide receiver room. Odell not getting his check, letting Von Miller go, bringing in the new linebacker. Yeah, I don't think it's the championship hangover. It's just a lot going on there.
Mm.
Sean McVay, a newly married man.
Eric is so stupid.
Hey,
So of course,
hey.
Anthony says Brady is too old to be throwing the ball 60 times a game.
That's
That
Leonard
part,
Fournette.
but still, even if him doing that, like Brian's saying, the Rams should have been able to thwart that, and they seconds they allowed him to come down and put in position. So I don't know. Like he said, it's just probably tumultuous over in the Rams locker room. Of course, the last game from last night, the Tennessee Titans and the Kansas City Chiefs go to overtime. Malik Willis
Oh my god. I got so tired of watching him run from left to right with the ball.
Malik Willis, 5 for 16, 80 yards passing. Derrick Henry, 17 carries for 115 yards, 2
That's why they
touchdowns.
lost. Say his line again. How many carries? Come
17
on.
for 115 with 2 touchdowns. Malik Willis, 8 carries for 40 yards. Dontrell Hilliard, 3 for 12. Uh, yeah,
Derrick Henry was beating them boys down yesterday. Beating them. It was Malik Willis and Henry. Their option was killing the Chiefs. They just went over. They got lemon booty, Trey. They was up at Arrowhead. They was dominating. They couldn't get a single thing going in that second half of the football game. That was the case of we won the first half and they went to that locker room and had a party and came out and the Chiefs was like, ah. But they shut that Titans defense. The Chiefs, oof, they was on Kelsey. Oh, he
yeah.
got so many hands to the. Ooh,
They showed it, but of course, Patrick Mahomes, 43 of 68, almost 70 pass attempts, 446 yards, 1 touchdown, and one interception. Mahomes, 6 carries for 63 yards for a touchdown. Pacheco, 5 carries for 5 yards. Here was 4 for 5, but it was all through the air. Travis Kelce, 10 receptions, 106 yards.
the
Uh,
oof.
Juju Smith-Schuster, 10 receptions, 88 yards. Nicole Hardman, 6 receptions, 6 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown. Noah Gray was 3 for 45. McKinnon was 6 for 40. Justin Watson, 2 for 37. It was throwing all around the yard yesterday, basically
The
distribution.
crazy thing,
Um,
Trey, about all of them throws is probably
uh-huh.
60 of them he was running for his life.
Yeah.
All that, and that's what they kept announcing. The Titans are doing what you're supposed to do against the Chiefs. Put hands on Kelsey and take him out the game. And they
Mm-hmm.
struggled the whole entire time. They exposed them boys. A lot of teams gonna be watching this game
Should have watched it,
tape.
yeah.
They're
Uh-huh.
gonna be watching this one.
With that, of course, is that enough of a performance for them to put the Chiefs as the number one team and jump over Philly yet again?
No, no
I don't think
way.
so either.
They were exposed. Chiefs had a horrible game.
Mm-hmm.
But
Almost lost it.
Patty Mahomes.
Almost 70 pass attempts. Goodness gracious.
Don't we got to talk about the Jets as our number 2 team? Jets,
You know
Vikings, or
what?
Seahawks?
Jets, Vikings, or Seahawks. You're right. Eagles number 1, Jets, Vikings, or Seahawks number 2, or maybe they're all in the top 4 or top 5, and then the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, we'll be able to look at that and see that tomorrow before we get into the actual rank from the two NFL and the ESPN. We'll go over ours tonight, Ron. Although there's no catching Bishop for this week, who you rocking with tonight? Is it the Uh, Baltimore or is it Baltimore or who they playing tonight? I just seen or the
The
Saints. Who you got?
Saints, man. This depressing game because if I get this wrong and Bishop get it right, we probably. I don't want to pick. Where is Bishop's pick at? He
I
supposed
don't
to send
even
it
know. I
to us
gotta
in
send a message him.
advance.
Yeah, I was supposed to got a message to find out where he's at with it tonight.
Freaking fine. I'm going to ride with Lamar
Of
to
course,
handle
Yeah.
business. I think we probably, whatever. I can't believe Bishop called me. In 1 week. 9-3. He ain't come on here to gloat.
He don't know it yet. That's probably what it is. Or he might. He might. Yeah. So currently, like I said, I'm going with Baltimore as well. I'm very sure he is as well. Unless he's trying to be funny, but like you know what, I just want to put even more, or I got room. I got money to blow, and he'd be like, I'm going with the Saints. But of course, I don't think he'll do that. There's no way, form, or fashion I foresee uh, them getting it unless Kamara just has a Mac in the game. Oh, you know what? Shout out to
I
shout
need
out
Kamara to have that game in order to beat Bishop tonight.
I
That's why.
shout out to Mixon, man. Joey Mixon loves it. 22 carries, 153 yards on the night with 4 touchdowns, 55 points in fantasy points given. Mixon, I greatly appreciate you. I needed that to get a couple of them. I use him in a couple of my teams, and he helped me get that W. So shout out to Mixon with a huge amount of points on the weekend. 4 TDs, yes. No points in watching the Rams. They suck anyway. The Ravens, of course. Saints. Who's Lamar throwing to? He's got other people he can still go through. But in any case, that's the show for today. We greatly appreciate y'all walking with us tomorrow. Y'all know where to catch us tomorrow as we go over the standings for tomorrow. Does Philadelphia finally get a chance to be number one after, you know what I'm saying, holding it? Or there's a situation to where we look up and blink and that 8-0 record still doesn't mean anything, to where potentially the Vikings or the Kansas City has overtaken. I don't foresee it. I think they finally get a chance to stand at that top of that ranking, maybe deservedly so this time. But of course, we'll be able to talk about it. We look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Y'all know where to catch us right here tomorrow, 09/1100 hours. More NBA to talk about. The CFP. Maybe have a better sense of what the CFP is. I'll give you what I think is going to be. I was pretty proficient the first week. I'll see if I can continue that and predict what the CFP would be come tomorrow. Uh,
Nostradamus.
he's back. Yes, sir. Yes, appreciate it, gentlemen. Greatly appreciate it. Ronnie, any last words before you get up out of here?
Y'all be blessed and have a powerful week.
Yes, that part, of course. We look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Brothers and sisters, take care. Peace.